Many of us are quite obsessed with finding our own personal art style that will make us stand out and distinguish us from other artists. But this quest can harm us more than benefit us. I myself set it as one of my main goals very early on in my watercolour journey and felt extremely frustrated when I realised I was basically just copying. Because copying is bad, right? Today we're going to talk about finding your art style and how not to go about it the wrong way. The problem with style can be that the quest for it will make your expression artificial. Imagine trying to be someone else, trying to copy someone else's personality or accent or way of walking. It's a lot of effort, and even if we did succeed in portraying a similar image, we'd eventually fall right back out of it because it doesn't belong to us. It doesn't reflect our natural personality, our voice, our movements, and staying within it would require such concentration, it would result in stiffness, boredom, and lastly, a sense of failure. Even when you are just starting out in your art journey, whether it be watercolour or another medium, you surely already have a style, but you don't have the tools to express it. So looking for your own personal style too early on can be damaging to your growth and the development of your skills. When I first came to watercolour, I admired certain artists I saw online so much I wanted to paint just like them. Of course I could not and did not because they had years of practice under their belt that I didn't have. I could not possibly obtain the same result. Obtaining the same result is called a master copy, which in watercolour is basically impossible, by the way, due to its unpredictable nature. But even if your aim were to get as close as possible to someone else's art, you'd first have to grow as an artist yourself. There's no other way to bridge that gap than to develop your own skill set. I am not encouraging anyone to copy anyone else's art unless it's for a personal study, of course. But is copying so bad? If we look back at the history of art, so many great artists studied under their masters, even helped them in the creation of their artwork. They learned through copying. Let's get some facts here. Renaissance painter Botticelli, who you've probably all heard of, famous for The Birth of Venus, among others, worked for years alongside another famous Italian painter, his master, called Filippo Lippi. Usually painters working in the same workshop would have styles that were so similar, it would be hard to tell who the artist behind the painting was. Yet, through copying, in fact, let me rephrase that, through studying, gradually the individual personality of the artist would start to shine through, become more defined and recognisable. So is copying bad? No. In this sense, copying is not bad because it's actually studying. It's actually discovering yourself through brushstrokes, palettes, and of course, subject preference, which might even end up straying from the kind you originally thought you loved the most. Now more than ever, there is such a desire to stand out, to get noticed, to be recognisable and be seen. You feel like you're drowning in a sea of beautiful artwork, aesthetically pleasingly displayed in polished reels and professionally photographed images. By the way, you also might be spending too much time on social media, if that's the case. Instagram in particular. So take a break. Not from this video though, not yet. It's the order of importance that matters here, the positioning of your steps. You don't put B before A. You don't start a journey from your return trip with your return ticket in hand. You discover as you go along, because in the beginning, you simply don't know yet. and you'll be stifling your voice as well as your growth. Basically, you'll be doing everything but leaning into your true style. So learn and dedicate yourself with passion to your art. Be fearless. Tonight, as we step into the month of December, I'll be opening up my Patreon for an entire week to free members, which will give you access to 2 live sessions and their recordings. You won't have to pay for anything and you won't get charged anything if you forget to cancel. It's not one of those things. I'm just opening the doors to the specific content for 1 week. The link to participate will be in the description box under Patreon, and it's only for the first week in December 2025. It's here that I've seen so many people come out of their shells and develop their own unique art styles. And guess how they did that? Not by actively looking for it, but by practicing with the very same passionate dedication I mentioned a minute ago. Don't look for your style. It will come looking for you, and you will recognize it with no room for questioning. Not only will you feel it as an emotion within you, but it will be like looking into a mirror. Good morning. It's a new day here in Rome and a new day for painting as well. It would be better to be outside with the sun shining. It's pretty chilly actually, much more than it usually is this time of the year. So this is where I stopped painting last night. I have no idea what I will have said in the voiceover. Well, I do have a faint idea because I know what the topic is going to be about, but I want to just add something spontaneously right now. I started off this painting thinking that I would not like it for some reason. I started off thinking that I would assemble sections of older paintings and sections of older footage, so to speak, from my YouTube videos and maybe from tutorials that I have over on Patreon, just to talk about style in painting. But unexpectedly, I am actually really loving this piece. I'm loving it because, one, it's been an exercise in painting clouds in watercolour, which is something that I've tried in the past, but I've never kind of followed up on. So it's taught me something new, but it's totally a reflection of how I'm feeling right now in my life. So I think that kind of gels with style quite well when you get in touch with your feelings and emotions and are able to express them on paper or canvas or whatever your painting surface is. I used my own face as a reference image. I took a selfie of myself. Didn't look very great, but I just wanted this kind of expression. I wanted the head tilted backwards, and I wanted it to be raw and pure, and so I didn't go looking for any reference image on any website out there. I just used a really terrible grainy selfie of myself and then adjusted it a little bit because I know what my face looks like more or less, and it's not really important that it's me down to the millimeter, let's say. It's okay if some things are not exactly precise. But What I wanted to express was the state of feeling very ADHD at the moment, very head in the clouds, very scatterbrained, sometimes also lost, when you just can't seem to find the right path forwards in many fields in your life, not one. And when it's only one, it's kind of manageable. But then when it starts to become several different fields, it really becomes quite overwhelming. And painting this helped me a lot. I used to cringe when I first heard this sentence, but hold space for that feeling, hold space for that person, and have a sort of compassion for her, that her being me, instead of continuously blaming, bad-mouthing myself. All those things that I'm sure a lot of you out there have struggled with at some point in your lives. And if you haven't, lucky you. And maybe some of you haven't struggled with these things because some people just seem to be very square and get things done and no-nonsense kind of people. I'm not that kind of person. I wish I were, but I am not. I don't know if it's genetic. I don't know if it's environmental. I don't know if I can change it. I do believe in change, by the way. I do believe in change so much. But at the same time, it can be pretty hard to implement it. Let me know in the comment section if you feel this way too. And I also want to tell you that if you are feeling this way right now, to please, let's use that sentence, hold space for yourself. Be kind to yourself, because we really are so mean to ourselves so often. And a word of comfort is sometimes all we need. And the best person it can come from is yourself. Okay, rant over. Sorry if that was annoying for some of you who maybe just are here for the art. But I decided to leave it in anyway, because that is also where style comes from, where you are in your head and in your soul while you're painting, and how that gets poured onto the paper or canvas and creates your story. I will leave you to watch the rest of the process for this piece, and I will see you either on Patreon this week or in my YouTube video next Sunday. Bye for now.